Can we all be honest? Can we all acknowledge that the reason why we're so excited about Lamar Jackson is because Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback we've ever seen enter the NFL draft? Like, can we just be honest about it? Lamar Jackson is an unbelievable athlete, and to not acknowledge that would be stupid and silly. Lamar Jackson's a better running quarterback than Michael Vick was. He's better at running than Michael Vick was. But the question is, can Lamar Jackson throw the football? The short answer is yes. But the short answer is yes, he can throw, but just not yet. And I'm going to explain that. But before I explain this situation, I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's a special player. I've watched so much film. I've watched interviews. I've watched a lot of his tape. I've just spent so much time analyzing Lamar Jackson. And from what I've seen, I love what Lamar Jackson is about. I love his personality. He's a model citizen off the field. And really the only main concern with Lamar Jackson is accuracy. And that's a concern I want to address. So Lamar Jackson does struggle with accuracy, but the question is why? Why does Lamar Jackson struggle with accuracy? And so I'm going to simplify this so that anyone watching or listening can understand. I'm going to grab a football. See, a large majority of accuracy comes from footwork. And see, when you are throwing a football, you're dealing on two planes. You have one plane is up and down, and the other plane is left and right. If I'm throwing to this camera, I want to line my shoulder up with my body and point my shoulder directly at that camera. This camera is here. This camera's here. Wherever I'm throwing, I want to point my shoulder at that area. You want to point your front shoulder where you want to throw the football. If I point my shoulder up, if my shoulder goes up, the ball goes up. If my shoulder goes down, the ball goes down. If my shoulder goes left and down, the ball goes left and down. Wherever you point your front shoulder is usually where the ball goes. So this is where Lamar Jackson struggles the most. And there are times where Lamar Jackson makes all the right reads, but then Lamar Jackson's fundamentals let him down. He misses a throw because he has poor fundamentals. See, when Lamar Jackson gets everything lined up, when Lamar Jackson points his shoulder correctly, his feet are lined up, Lamar Jackson is dead accurate. He can hit a pass. The question is not, is Lamar Jackson accurate? The question is, can Lamar Jackson fix his fundamentals enough to be accurate consistently? Because Lamar Jackson's struggles come from bad habits and poor fundamentals. Now, are those fixable issues? Yes, Lamar Jackson can become an accurate passer. Lamar Jackson can fix his issues with poor fundamentals. In fact, there's actually evidence of this happening previously in the NFL with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was a rookie last year. When Deshaun Watson came out of college, I was hyped up. I was so excited. But I was concerned about Deshaun Watson's accuracy. See, in college, Deshaun Watson's feet would point inside when he tried to throw the ball outside. So Deshaun Watson would point his feet over here, and he would try to throw way to this other side. Deshaun Watson in college, his feet would be pointed left, and he would be trying to throw right, and that doesn't work. Well, even though in college Deshaun Watson had bad footwork, last year, during his rookie year, Deshaun Watson improved his footwork and threw a better deep ball and was more accurate. See, Deshaun Watson fixed his footwork between his senior year at college and his rookie year in the NFL, and Deshaun Watson had tremendous improvement. You can fix your footwork. We've seen Deshaun Watson do it, and I believe Lamar Jackson can improve the way that Deshaun Watson did. So currently, Lamar Jackson struggles to throw the ball to the right side of the field. And many quarterbacks struggle with this because when you throw to the right side of the field, you have to completely turn your body all the way to the sideline. And that's a hard thing for quarterbacks to kind of wrap their brain around. The reason why Lamar Jackson is more accurate over the middle of the field rather than the outside of the field is because often his feet are pointed inside and not outside. So he's more accurate in the middle and less accurate on the outside of the field. Additionally, because Lamar Jackson's feet are close together, his shoulder often gets pointed up. And when his shoulder's pointed up, the ball goes up. And the ball has a tendency to sail on him and go over people's head. So where Deshaun Watson really only struggled on one plane, Deshaun Watson in college would struggle left to right. Lamar Jackson struggles up, down, and left to right. He needs to work on accuracy with his footwork, and he needs to work on pointing his shoulder where he wants to throw. And that's really, it's somewhat encouraging and somewhat scary. So if Lamar Jackson widens his base, his shoulder will not be pointed up, the ball won't sail on him. And if he works on aligning his shoulder better, the ball will be more accurate left to right. So I guess the lesson in all of this is that all of Lamar Jackson's issues are fixable. And now his completion percentage is something that really does concern people. It does not concern me. Lamar Jackson had, I don't even remember, his high 50s completion percentage. I am not worried at all. Here's why. Let me put it this way. Lamar Jackson's team was trash. They were awful. They had so many drops. They were garbage. It's a real issue. Lamar Jackson's receivers were not very good. They had all kinds of problems catching the ball. Not to mention, Lamar Jackson always had pressure in his face. He was often having to throw the ball away, so that really hurt his completion percentage. He was throwing the ball away. He had lots of drops. I'm not really concerned about Lamar Jackson's completion percentage one bit. Here's a concern about Lamar Jackson, though. So Lamar Jackson's athleticism is absolutely a gift. He's the best quarterback he's the best when it comes to running the football. Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback we've ever seen. But at times, Lamar Jackson's athleticism can also be a curse. And part of this is because Lamar Jackson has always been the best athlete on the field his entire life. And being the best athlete on the field at all times has caused Lamar Jackson to develop some bad habits. There were times where there was pressure in Lamar Jackson's face. He would escape, and when he ran, he was actually developing a bad habit. So Lamar Jackson would have pressure in his face, and he would run away. And what he should have done sometimes was step up and throw the ball. Because you see Eli Manning do this. Eli Manning's really good. Eli Manning will step into a throw. He'll get hit in the face, but he'll complete a pass. And there are times where Lamar Jackson has an open throwing lane. He has a guy open downfield, and he won't step into a throw. He'll escape to the right or escape to the left, and he still might have a positive play. But that's something Lamar Jackson needs to work on. He needs to get better coaching and learn to pick and choose his spots when he runs and when he steps up and makes a throw. Because not every time should Lamar Jackson turn and run. Sometimes he's a step up and make a throw. But early on in Lamar Jackson's NFL career, I would actually encourage Lamar Jackson to run a lot. I would encourage Lamar Jackson to run often. I would tell Lamar Jackson, you know what? Use it as a crutch. Because the thing is, Lamar Jackson can simply do things that nobody else can do. So let me ask you a question. What if I told you that the most athletic person on your team was your quarterback? And that person, the most athletic person on your team, was going to touch the ball every single play. That is a legitimate possibility with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will be the best athlete on your football team. And when you put him at quarterback, he will touch the ball every single play. The Arizona Cardinals are in the NFC West, a stacked division, a division with the Seattle Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers. Every team in the NFC West has a quarterback aside from the Arizona Cardinals. I believe the Cardinals should draft Lamar Jackson. You need excitement. If you're a Cardinals fan, you have nothing to root for. Your team sucks, you have a defensive-minded coach, and you're going to lose year in and year out because you have no quarterback and your NFC West division is incredibly good. If I'm an Arizona Cardinals general manager, doesn't matter if Lamar Jackson's going to be incredibly successful or not. What Lamar Jackson would bring to my franchise is excitement, and it would give fans a reason to watch. Now, here's what I really hope happens. I believe the Patriots are actually going to draft Lamar Jackson. I believe, and I hope to God Lamar Jackson goes to the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick will see value where other people's simply do not. He will see Lamar Jackson as an incredibly talented athlete and who can play quarterback. I remember when Bill Belichick lost last year to Deshaun Watson, I would bet you money Bill Belichick has never forgot almost losing to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson lit up the Patriots last year. He did not beat them, but Deshaun Watson had tremendous success against the Patriots, and I would bet you anything that Bill Belichick saw Deshaun Watson's success last year and said, I can replicate that with Lamar Jackson. Because don't forget, Bill Belichick's a defensive-minded coach. And he watches Lamar Jackson and goes, oh crap, I don't know how I would stop that guy. So there's a big thing. Bill Belichick will see value in Lamar Jackson where other people don't. Here's why I believe that. It is no secret that NFL offensive lines are getting worse every single year. That's because of the new college rules that restrict practice times. See, college offensive linemen do not have as much time to prepare and get ready for the NFL. They're losing important practice time. And so because of this, every single year, NFL offensive lines get worse and worse. And not all while defensive linemen actually get better and better athletes. Defensive linemen are the best athletes they've probably ever been. In fact, the best athlete I ever saw in my life, I played high school football with a guy named Samson Ebukam. He plays defensive end right now for the Rams. You know why he plays defensive end? They said, you're the best athlete on the field. You can get after the quarterback. We're putting you at defensive end. Lamar Jackson has an incredible ability, an ability that nobody has. Lamar Jackson can get away from these really scary, incredibly athletic defensive linemen. Lamar Jackson can turn a sack, a bad play, a big loss into not just a 4-yard gain, not just a 30-yard gain. Lamar Jackson can turn a sack into a touchdown. He has that ability. It's a Russell Wilson-like ability to get away from pressure. It's an incredible innate ability that Lamar Jackson has. And as the NFL changes, as offensive lines get worse, you may want a guy like Lamar Jackson who's a master at extending plays. Lamar Jackson can do things nobody else can do. Watch his highlights. You go, oh my God, is that a quarterback or is that a running back or is that... I've never seen an athlete like that play quarterback. Lamar Jackson's unbelievable. He can do things nobody else can do. And I truly believe there are NFL coaches out there that are looking and watching him and saying, we can do something with that. I don't know how exactly yet, but we can refine that, turn that into something. Here's an important thing. At times, the Louisville offensive line made huge, inexcusable mistakes. They left Lamar Jackson out to dry. People would come free. Like pass rushers would have a free chance to come and right after and get Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson would make them miss, and he would have actually tremendous success, even though there was pressure in his face often. So I would draft Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, again, he does things nobody else can do. I think the best case scenario for Lamar Jackson is that he gets a year off. He gets a year to watch a guy like Tom Brady or Big Ben or maybe Blake Bortles. And if Lamar Jackson is drafted into a situation like that, where he can take a year to work on his fundamentals, he can get better. Because again, he needs to work on pointing his shoulder. He needs to have a wider base so the ball doesn't sail on him. If Lamar Jackson has time to do that, I believe he could be tremendously successful. There's a weird thing Lamar Jackson does. I want to point it out to you before I end this topic. He'll grab a ball and he'll separate, and he'll want to throw the ball. He'll pull the ball back, and then he'll change his mind and go, oh, I don't want to throw it, and he'll kind of leave the ball hanging out there, and he'll go to his other reads. And meanwhile, the ball is just kind of sitting up out in the middle of nowhere. And that's a weird thing Lamar Jackson does. And there's little things like that Lamar Jackson needs to work on. He needs to widen his base. He needs to not hold the ball. Like 1 or 2 plays a game, you'll watch his film. He does this thing where he holds the ball out, and then he goes to his reads like this, and it doesn't look natural at all. So there are little tiny fundamental things that Lamar Jackson needs to work on. But man, I'll tell you what, Lamar Jackson absolutely has the mental capacity to run an NFL offense. He may struggle with fundamentals, but his team had a ton of drops. He had guys in his face all the time because his offensive line was awful. And he can run an NFL offense. Mentally, he has the capacity. He never got hurt. Lamar Jackson never had off-the-field issues. In fact, I love Lamar Jackson's personality. I've watched interview after interview after interview. I truly believe Lamar Jackson is a diamond in the rough, and I would draft him. I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's great. I would bring him in. I'd coach him up. I would fix his fundamentals. And if you can do that, If you can fix Lamar Jackson's bad habits and fundamentals, widen his base, help him with pointing the shoulder, stop him from doing this weird thing with the ball. If you can fix Lamar Jackson's fundamentals, you will have a special quarterback that's maybe the best quarterback in this draft class. Fix the fundamentals, and Lamar Jackson will be unbelievably terrifying. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. You can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, also on Google Play. Thank you so much. If you really want to help me grow Strong Opinion Sports, though, tell your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Share this with your friends. Tell the world about Strong Opinion Sports. Subscribe and help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. Thank you so much.